All right, Dad.
Yes.
Buying a car is a very scary process. You spent 40 plus years on the dealership side. Now you've spent 2 years on this side, the YouTube side, helping educate us to know what we're getting into. 4 myths that consumers have, that buyers have about the dealership. You're going to break them down.
Afraid not, buddy. It's going to be 5.
5 myths.
5 myths. I got 5 fingers on each hand. You're getting 5 myths, ladies and gentlemen. And the first myth is...
Can we just take a moment? It was so serious.
Yeah.
The homework for this one.
Yeah, I had to write it down.
I love it.
Yeah.
First myth.
The first myth. Salespeople earn thousands per car. That's not so. The dealer earns thousands per car. The salespeople do not. On average, the average sale typically earns a salesperson about a $500 commission. So today, that number might be closer to $700 or $750 per car. It's still not thousands. I know from all the years that I was in the business, people just always thought that the salespeople were making, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in every car they sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, the average back then was about $500, and that included monthly bonuses and money from the manufacturers.
We've got a really good guide. You wrote it when we started YAA 2
did.
years ago, and it's about how much money car salespeople make based
Yes.
on how much they sell.
Yes.
The powerhouse, the people who really make a lot of money in the dealership are actually your F&I managers, right?
They tend to make a ton.
Yeah. All right. So that's myth number 1. The salesperson's making thousands per car sold.
Yes.
Got it.
And they're not. Myth number 2, dealerships don't recondition used cars before selling them. Although a lot of dealerships today are skimping on reconditioning and not doing nearly as much reconditioning as perhaps they should or perhaps they had in the past, dealerships that do things the right way, the average reconditioning cost usually falls somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 per car. So the thought that dealers in most cases aren't checking out the cars and aren't doing anything to the cars, that's really pretty much a myth. Now, that's not to say that there aren't dealerships out there that other than just washing the car and vacuuming it out and not doing anything else. Those dealerships exist, but your large public companies, they're not putting themselves in that position. They're gonna recondition the cars, at least bring them up to safety standards. Myth number 3: your salesperson is your new best friend. No, your salesperson is your salesperson. Okay, and that's it. He's your salesperson. He or she is just there to figure out how to sell you a car. Their job is to get you to say yes and get you to pay as much money as they possibly can in order to sell the car. They're not your best friend. That's not to say that salespeople that are really good at what they do and stay at one place for a very long time don't make friends with their customers. They do.
Yeah.
And they establish relationships with their customers, and oftentimes they do become friends. But initially, they're not your new best friend. They're there to see how much money they can extract from you.
Question for you, and I wonder if it ties into this myth. Is it a myth that if I know a guy or a girl at the dealership, I'm getting a great deal? Like, is that a myth?
Is it a myth? It depends on the guy or the girl and how they operate. Some salespeople will go, well, if it's a referral, I can just take advantage of it because the friend told them to come see me. And others will put value on their friend having sent them.
Yeah.
And actually give them a better deal.
That's fair. I got it.
So it depends on the makeup of that particular salesperson.
Myth number 4.
The finance manager will always get you the best interest rate. Well, the best interest rate for the finance manager maybe, but not necessarily the best interest rate for you.
Yeah.
What you have to understand is finance managers make money by selling you products in the finance office and by arranging your loans. And they have a spread that they can build into the interest rate that they offer you. For instance, if the bank says, hey, we'll sell you the money for 1.5%, and the finance manager says, great, I got you 2.9%. Well, they're making 1.4% upcharge on the interest. They can mark it up in most cases, typically no more than 2 points, maybe 3 at the max. But every time they mark up the loan rate, that's back-end money for the finance manager. So they might have access to more lending institutions than you would, but that doesn't mean that they're going to get you the best rate. They're going to get you the best rate for them, the rate that they can make the most money at.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What's number 5?
Number 5, the used car manager will always offer you the most for your trade-in. No, no, never.
You've
Never.
always said that on used cars, you make your money when you buy them.
Exactly, and most used car managers are pigs. They love to make money when they buy the car. So most used car managers operate under the premise of, I'm going to do everything I can to steal the car. It was always amazing to me that when the used car manager would appraise a car and he'd come back with a number, and then, I'm trying my best to structure a deal between the salesperson, the customer, and, I'd say to the used car man, could that trade be worth any more? Well, how much do you need? Well, my theory was, what's the car worth?
Yeah.
Okay. It shouldn't be, the value of the car shouldn't be based on how much do I need. The value of the car should be based on, well, what the actual value of the car is.
This is making me think we should do a video titled "How to Determine What Your Car is Actually Worth." Positing that for the future. Continue.
Yeah. So that where the used car manager might have said a car was worth $15,000, and I might have needed 17 to make a car deal, and he'd go, okay, we'll move it to 17. Well, that meant it was worth 17 to begin with. So most used car managers that I know of, they basically have 3 numbers in their mind when they look at somebody's trade. The first number is, well, the number they'd like to steal it for. And that, by stealing it, it'll maximize their used car profit when they go to sell it, which makes him look like a hero. Or if they wholesale it, he makes a lot of money wholesaling it. The second number is what the vehicle's actually worth. When they looked at the car, what they thought it was actually worth. If they thought it was worth $17,000 and they said, okay, we'll put 15 in it.
It's the same thing as the interest rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the third number is what they would be willing to push themselves to in order to make a deal. So the 3 numbers are the steal number, what it's really worth number,
and the deal number.
And the deal number, how much the used car manager is willing to push
Wait. Steal, real, deal.
Yes.
You've got your steal number, your real number, and your
the
deal number.
So there you have it. Nicely done, young man. Apparently I've taught you something.
I got a 6th myth, and I want to pressure test it on you live here.
Oh my
How about
God.
this? The myth that buying a used car is a better value than a new car. I think 2 years ago that myth may have held water. In this market, it probably doesn't.
It does not any longer. I saw a note on our YouTube channel from a used car wholesaler in Florida, and where they just sold a 75,000-mile 2014 Corolla S, which is an 8-year-old car, for $16,000 at the sale. Okay, now that car, I don't know, normally what's it worth? $10,000, $11,000. It ain't worth 16. If somebody bought it for 16, they're looking to sell it for probably 20.
Yeah, because they're going to do $1,000, $2,000 in reconditioning, and
then they want to make a profit. So that car would not be a good value today. So most used cars today don't represent a better value than a new car.
there you go. My myth holds water. All right, Pops. Well, thanks for coming up with 5 myths. Leave a comment down below. I kind of want to see what other suggestions or ideas for this type of game we should play with my dad. Because again, he'll bring out the legal pad, and that's what
Mini legal pad.
Mini. Yeah, that's true. You're a mini kind of guy.
I am.
Thanks, Pops.
Yeah, thank you.